Good morning. It's turned out nice again. It's Friday, the 26th of February 2021, and you're watching KopTalk.tv. Alright, so I've updated both of my podcasts today. If you want to bore yourself to death, the KopTalk podcast and the Dunk Knows Best podcast have both been updated and are available to everybody in the usual places: Apple, Spotify, Google, any decent podcast app, etc., etc. One of the things that we were talking on today's KopTalk podcast was about this Rafa Benitez would love to return to Liverpool as manager, and somebody asked me about this yesterday actually, and I was like, that's a bit of a random question. Would you have Rafa back? And you guys know I absolutely love Rafa, for sure, right? Absolutely, great manager. I would like to have seen him with these owners, to be honest with you, etc., etc., etc. I think many of us would all be on the same page with those opinions. However, to even think about talking about another manager while we've got Jurgen Klopp at the club it just doesn't sit right with me. And I wanted to discuss why you might be hearing this kind of chatter, because sometimes you hear stuff and you don't know the origin. So basically, there was an article in the Mirror newspaper, which I have on my screen in front of me, by someone called Callum Verley, that I've never heard of before. If that said Dave Maddock, I'd be like, hello, because he's Mr. Liverpool when it comes to articles in the Mirror. And the headline there is Rafa Benitez would love to return to Liverpool as manager. Liverpool have had a difficult season as they look to retain their Premier League crown. But Jurgen Klopp's side are on a terrible stretch of form that has seen them drop out of the top four. Blah, blah, blah. And obviously Rafa is out of work at the moment. He would like to return to the Premier League, etc., etc., etc. Now, the Liverpool Echo highlighted this as well and said a Spanish football expert has chimed in, to suggest that Rafa would love to come back, etc., etc. But that football expert is Guillem Balaguer. So I think it would have been better if they'd have just said that straight from the off, that it was Balaguer, because when I thought, as soon as it said football expert, I was like, Spanish football expert, I was like, ooh, who's this going to be? Is it, because I just thought they would have mentioned Balaguer. Anyway, doesn't matter. They did mention him, but not in the bit that pulls you in, which I guess they therefore succeeded in what they wanted to achieve. So Balaguer was speaking on his YouTube channel, and I'm going to read you the quotes that he said. And Balaguer's not being naughty here. Balaguer's not trying to stir anything up. We know that Rafa is in his ear, etc., etc. One thing I will say about Balaguer is that from being in Spain myself, I do notice that he says one thing in England and one thing in Spain, to keep the different, maybe football clubs happy or media happy or whatever. Anyway, speaking on his YouTube channel, he said there is a feeling of unfinished business with Rafa and Liverpool. I've always said that, which he has. Rafa would love to be the Liverpool manager at some point, maybe in a time of crisis, proper crisis, not what's happening now. So he's not even, he's basically saying, there's unfinished business, but this isn't the time, kind of thing. Maybe in a time when there's a need for a strong personality to steady a ship. But right now, in the way that the owners are behaving and Klopp and everything, that situation doesn't exist. How can we think that Klopp has reached the end of an era? Look at the bigger picture. How can anyone suggest that? So, and then he wound up by saying it's laughable, it's stupid and absurd to be talking about a future without Klopp. Which is very true. So you might have wondered where this Rafa to Liverpool thing might have come from. Because if you're on social media, you might hear people talking about it. People often don't say where things are originating from. You might have heard someone say, "Oh, Balaguer is saying that Rafa could go back to Liverpool." Well, he's not saying that. He's very clear that he doesn't think now is the right time, etc., etc. And I'm not really sure that Rafa would ever come back to Liverpool. I don't know if I see it or not. I want Jurgen Klopp to be the Liverpool manager, but there's no harm in discussing things, especially when there's been suggestion and speculation that Klopp could go. There was reports in Germany, I think, over the last 24 hours saying that they still think that there's a chance that he could leave Liverpool if the Germany job came up, etc., etc. I think we all know this. That's why it's important that he is happy at Liverpool, and that's down to the owners, I think, and also the love that he feels from the fans. Anyway, what the Liverpool Echo didn't touch on was that Balaguer also mentioned Newcastle United, so he wasn't just singling out Liverpool, and he said, is there a project with Mike Ashley? Is there a plan? Is there an intention to actually spend money on the academy and the facilities and in the squad? If the answer is no, then you've got the answer for Rafa if he was ever approached again, but he hasn't, and it is a no. It's amazing to think that somebody of his calibre doesn't have a team, but it happens. He'll have to wait for his moment. Now, so again, I just wanted to tell you where these things had come from if you weren't sure. Who used to do that? Oh, Stephen Gerrard in his interview, post-match interviews, always do that, didn't he? Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say where this had come from, and then if you did hear Balaguer, I don't think Balaguer's shit stirring, basically. All right, that's it. That's all I wanted to say to you. I can't imagine Liverpool Football Club without Klopp. To be honest, I know it'll happen at some point, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Rafa gets his chance again. You know, I don't think the present owners had touched Rafa, to be honest, because I think he's too. I don't want to sound negative, but maybe too confrontational. He won't take any shit. That doesn't mean that Klopp takes any shit, but Klopp has agreed to what the working environment is, if you like. So I think they had a chance to bring Rafa in before, and was deemed as, you know, he won't put with any shit, kind of, because Rafa, wherever Rafa goes, he doesn't take any shit, does he? Which I like that in so much. Just like I don't take any fucking shit either off anyone. Fuck that. Yeah, so that's that. Hope you're all okay. I've done the podcast. I'll talk about it more in the podcast. Okay. Go on. If you've got Spotify, just open the app and put KopTalk Liverpool FC, or if you're on Apple Podcasts. So I use an app called Pocket Cast, which is free on my devices, and you can listen to it on your phone or whatever, and then still pause it and continue on your desktop from where you left off. The other thing is, I didn't really want to touch on the Alisson situation. You know, the awful tragedy concerning his father. The latest suggestion is that he won't be trying to go to his funeral, which, fuck me, imagine not being able to go to your dad's funeral, Jurgen Klopp's mum's funeral. And this is why I didn't want to touch on the Alisson stuff. Yesterday I was going to do a podcast, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to open on that. We're going to have to talk about it. I'm going to depress everyone. We're all fucking depressed enough as it is. I just didn't think it was good, but I can't make a video without touching on it and just say how fucking awful that must be for him. And, you know, I know we always say in our thoughts and prayers, but we don't drop to the floor and pray when we say this. We might tweet it, but in our thoughts and prayers, we don't sit around all day thinking about someone's misfortune, because I think it's human nature that we have to deal with our own life, and you can't take on board somebody else's grief, you know, whether they're famous and you through football, or a friend, you can't, because you go mental. But what we can do, can't we, as decent human beings, and also as Liverpool supporters under the mantra of "You'll never walk alone," it's just think how awful that must be for him. We know that he's in our heart, don't we? And that's it. That's what I think. And that when we next see Alisson again, if there's any fans or whatever, we show our love and support. And I would assume that our fan base, our amazing fan base, has been doing that on social media, and he will see that. I think he put out a tweet earlier thanking everybody for just awful, guys, awful. Let's leave it at that. But fuck me, what a fucking year or two we've had. Well, we're into it's a year, isn't it? And just everything is just, oh God. The good news is on Monday they're opening the bars here from Monday, only until 6 o'clock and only outside. But that's fine. I'll sit outside, even in the shade and freeze to death. I don't care. I'm really looking forward to seeing my three mates again. And I just need to get out. Do you know what I mean, guys? I need to get out. Not to go on lash. I'm happy to have a fucking Diet Coke, but it's been a terrible time, and I'm sure I'm not alone. See what I mean? I didn't want to talk about all the negative shit. So let's forget that. Let's, you know, our thoughts are with Alisson and his family, but we've got to crack on. That's how. Because otherwise I end up fucking dwelling, and I aren't good when I start dwelling. I'm going to do another video for you as well in a minute. So I hope you're all right. I do read all your comments. If you appreciate my content and you want to help a brother out, please do thumbs up the video. I read all the comments, and if you really want to help a brother out, you can click on join and join my channel and support me and become a member of the channel. Okay, guys, I'll speak to you a little bit later. In fact, I'm going to do another video for you anyway. I thought the podcast today was quite informative. There's a few things on there that you might want to listen to. So, and the good thing is you can listen to more of this without having to look at my face. That's a win-win. Right, I'll speak to you in a bit. Right.